Hey there, boils and ghouls. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollow Weekly. Nick and George here with
Valentine.
Valentine. How low can we go?
How low can we go is back.
We're back. We
Yes.
took a little hiatus. Why? Because we got pretty low.
We did.
And we were like, we need to stretch. Our backs hurt. We need a quick breather, and then we'll just jump right back in.
We promised we were going to do it. We didn't promise we were going to do it all at once.
Yeah, it takes a little breather.
Yeah.
It takes a little breather.
Even when we find some treasures down here in the How Low Can We Go basement, like, it's still... A lot of them are the same kind of treasures.
Yeah. It's like spelunking into a cave and you're like, wow, more rubies.
Right, exactly.
Great.
You can take a look at a red.
Let me guess there's gold in that chest. Okay.
Right, exactly.
I want something new.
But I'm excited we're back, especially excited to be in the single digits because this was what we were all waiting for.
Yeah, this is the chunk.
Yes.
And I was actually really surprised with Valentine. Like this film, I'm just gonna say it now. It does not deserve to be at 9%.
Okay.
You agree? Even if it were 10% on your end.
No, I agree. I mean, so let's back up a step because first of all, we all hate Rotten Tomatoes. That's why we're doing this, right? So like, it's not like they're the holy writ of judgments. But if we were ranking this movie, the thing that I feel like, so I agree. I feel like there's parts of this movie that like I can see the fingernails on the sides of the well climbing up and going, I want to be 50. I want to be 50. I see it. But I also hear the slip and fall into the crappy water at the bottom of the well and the movie shaking itself and going up, wow, I'm 4%. What'd I do?
It accidentally drops lower.
Right, exactly. So I think that I would probably rank this somewhere in the high 30s if forced to.
I'm going 45%.
That's fair.
I think 45%.
That's fair.
Makes a lot of sense.
But let's put it in context. This is part of I have fun with this.
Okay, so
are we doing context or are you going to sum it up first?
Let's sum it up real quick.
Go for it.
All right, let's cue the
For
music.
the people who don't know.
Let's cue the romantic music. Love is in the air. Love is in the air on the most romantic day of the year. Would-be lovers woo hearts with flowers, candy, cards, and gifts. Best friends Kate, Paige, Dorothy, Lily, and Shelley are all young women looking for a relationship, a Valentine to die for, and this year they might just get their wish. End the music.
And the music.
End the music.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, that's sweet, I think. It's the strangest Valentine I've ever seen.
Don't you just feel love in your heart after reading that?
I do.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Yeah, but in context, so let's talk about where this movie sits. It's what percent? 9%?
9%.
Okay.
And it fluctuates between 9-8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fair enough.
It breathes. I don't know why it does that.
It's okay.
Stay dead.
They all do that.
It's got a bloody nose.
Can I hit you with a couple movies? You're going to give me some, but I just want to hit you with a couple of movies right off the top. To put in context of where we're supposed to believe that 2001's Valentine, one of the last of the whole like Kevin Williamson era slasher influence slasher, Wes Craven Scream slasher type thing. It might even be the last slasher because I feel like The Ring came along and made everything paranormal right around this time period, right?
Yeah.
So it might be the last slasher of its era, but we're supposed to believe that this movie is as bad as, you ready?
Hit me with it.
Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Like equally bad, 9%.
Wow. I'm sad to have known that I've watched that trailer like 30 times because of how ridiculous it was. Like there's a shot where like they're on like a black stage with the spotlight dancing to like Christmas tunes.
Which is horrifying.
Yeah. It's really strange.
And then there's a way to argue this around, but The Snowman, which if anyone has seen that movie, which by the way is gorgeously shot.
Yeah, I was finish that sentence, man. Don't. That's the scariest part of the episode. You're just lingering on it's gorgeous.
And a terrible goddamn movie, right? Like absolutely atrocious.
Even the director came out. He's like, I didn't have enough time.
Right, like they didn't shoot like a third of that movie, but that's a whole other story. So we're supposed to believe that this is as bad as that. And wait, this is my final. And the Emoji Movie.
No.
No. There is no way this movie is as bad as those movies. Not even close to it. It's not great, but it's not those.
It's not there.
Do you have other neighborhood movies?
The only other one, so I had the Snowman. Oh, I do have a few more. The other one I got from Rotten Tomatoes was the Fantastic Four, the newest one, the Josh Trank one, which I loved Chronicle.
Sure.
But Jesus Christ, that Fantastic Four film, just what a pile of garbage that was.
Yeah.
Some other ones. Now, this is interesting. I discovered, and I've seen his trailer, like he posts videos on YouTube, his name's Joe Blow. Mm-hmm. And I saw this when I Googled it. It was actually the third result, was his website. And he had a series called Black Sheep, which sounds kind of like okay. I was like, all right, we're gonna reach out to you, Joe. Keep your ears peeled. Keep your ears peeled. Unless you're watching us from a satellite,
right?
Which hi.
Yeah.
But a few he mentioned, and I really like this. He said for context, recent stinkers like The Darkness. He used Metacritic.
Okay.
The Darkness was 27 out of 100. Mm-hmm. Incarnate was 30 out of 100. Bye Bye Man, 37 out of 100.
Wow.
And The Fifth Wave, which I think was like a YA type thing, if I remember correctly, 33 out of 100.
Wow.
He said perhaps the most telling is The Assignment, 34 out of 100, which all rank favorably to Valentine, which I think Valentine had a 18 out of 100.
Yeah.
And he said, there's just no fucking way. And Joe,
You're fucking right.
You're fucking right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that's crazy. Which also, I looked at how much it made in the theater, and it had a budget of $10 million, and it made 36.7. So even if Hollywood accounting, what do they say, double that for marketing or something like that, still comes out by 16 million.
Totally.
That's not bad.
No, I mean, I remember that they felt disappointed, but I feel like it's the Hollywood version of what horror fans do, right? Where they let expectations trip them up, right? So they go in and they watch A Quiet Place, but they're like, or they go to see Hereditary and they're like, it was the scariest movie since The Exorcist, I was told, and it wasn't. So now I'm disappointed. Okay, well, wipe that out of your head. Now what do you just think of the movie?
Yeah.
So like everyone expected the whole slasher cheap budget, and then you make a ton of money, except for I can see in Hollywood logic, they were like, well, we have more hot people from the time. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not complete unknowns. These were people who were really known at the time. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, we'll add those and we'll just double our profits.
Easy. Got it in the can already.
Which is not how that works, right? So no.
No, but the weird thing was, is speaking of that time, I remember there was two films I remember, like the older kids, like relative to my age, saw and talked about. And one of them was Urban Legend.
Sure.
And I remember some of them, even I think it was my cousin at the time, was telling me about the girlfriend who's ends up with her boyfriend's feet on top of the car, and she drives away and he gets hung. Scared the shit out of me. And I remember this film, for some reason, in my memory, this film was tied up with that film.
Sure.
And I don't know if it was because of like the TV Guide channel we showed
the
trailer, but I remember it being like, it felt like a big horror movie. Like when I was young, I was like,
absolutely,
this is going to be a scary horror movie. They got the mask, they got the knives, they got everything.
Yep.
And I didn't see it until...
And it's a holiday, which is like the move, right? Like, they did Halloween and
Krampus,
Black Christmas and all that. Right? Now it's time. Let's do Valentine's Day. So it was literally the text of the formula is do a holiday slasher, and they did it. You're like, this is gonna be great.
This is gonna be a knockout part, especially with, I think that cast. I don't know if that was. I think it was before Denise Richards was a Bond girl. Before she played a nuclear physicist.
That makes sense. She looked pretty young.
Yeah, but I remember people were bagging on her for being a nuclear physicist in James Bond, which is silly. Okay, fine, whatever.
Right.
But honestly, I don't think the acting, and specifically hers, wasn't too bad.
Well, she played herself here.
Yeah, so it fit. That's exactly my point. Like it fit. Like it didn't bump.
So that part was fine, right?
At all.
So here's the thing: we had both seen this,
yes,
already. Which is
no, not me.
You had not seen.
No,
this.
that was my first. That was my first viewing.
Okay, I was gonna say that's unusual for us because usually for How Low Can We Go, one of us hasn't seen it.
No, I had seen the only clip I saw was on TV. I remember the scene where she pours the wax on the guy and then leaves.
Yep.
I don't know if it was on Sci-Fi Channel or like USA or whatever, but I remember seeing that part, and then like that was it. I didn't.
Which is randomly unresolved in the movie.
Yeah,
did I miss something?
He's just up there with.
He's
wax
still
dick,
there,
with the waxy
right?
dong.
As we're talking right now, he's still
still there.
That guy's still tied to the bed.
Archaeologists are going to find him years later.
preserved in wax.
Preserved. No, not him. Just his dong. Everything else is
That
rotted
was
away.
gone, right? So, right. I'm never gonna look at Jurassic Park Amber at the same.
Yeah, that's bad.
So yeah. So it's interesting because as someone who had seen it at least 1.5 times, right? But I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. First of all, there were huge chunks of the movie I did not remember at all. So
Yeah.
like they went to the art installation. I was like, is this the director's cut? Because I don't remember any of it.
And that random roast battle between the mom and the stepmom
So
and the daughter.
strange, right?
Just out of nowhere, like a 4-minute scene of just roasting.
But I want to give a shout out just for in terms of like complete refreshing surprise to just 2 quick elements from the movie. And then I want to see if anything, what surprised you as someone who hadn't seen it but had heard about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as someone who saw it but didn't remember much of it, right? I remember I liked the mask, and
Yeah,
that still holds
kind of reminded
true.
me of Happy Death Day.
Definitely. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Marley Shelton, who played Kate.
Mm-hmm.
She acted circles around pretty much everybody else in the movie.
Yeah, she was great.
She was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot how kind of prevalent in horror and other like movies and stuff that she's been. I mean, she was in Sin City and Grindhouse and Scream 4. So
Yeah,
it's
she
not
was
like
a
she's
cop.
not like she's a stranger to horror.
Yeah.
It's not, but she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So just literally by strength of her performance alone, it's not a 9% movie, right? Like she was really, really good. And then that guy, the guy who starred as I can't say his name, who's Adam / spoiler, someone else, David Boreanaz, or however you say his name. The guy from, you told me he was
Angel, I think, the Buffy spinoff.
Never saw that, but yeah, he was actually pretty good. He was not terrible, and Denise Richards was playing herself, as we said, so she was good. I feel like the rest of the cast was pretty good. But the other shout out I want to give is, and I actually love when this happens because I'm obsessed with like the movies being memorable is one of my absolute top benchmarks I look for how I rate a movie. Right?
Yeah.
So I had remembered for years that if someone had come to me and said, like elevator pitch, right, for a horror movie, you have 2 minutes, chop 2 minutes out of this movie and show it to me and convince me that this movie is not a terrible movie, right?
The dick waxing.
I would have definitely, that's just because I said chopped. Anyway. I would have definitely grabbed the hot tub murder. It just was the big set piece standout. It's the most memorable, star of the movie who got killed. And like, it was just, I thought it was the best stage, most memorable thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. The first kill sequence in the morgue
That is a great.
is amazing with the Katherine
Heigl,
Heigl,
yeah.
right? Who I'd forgotten entirely was in the movie because they pulled a Drew Barrymore.
They did, yeah.
Literally the same move, right? But the fact that the killer is going down this row of bodies in body bags in a morgue, just stabbing each bag without looking in it, and knowing that she's hiding in the one at the end, just the way it was staged and framed and paced.
I got a Halloween vibe.
Totally
from that scene.
It was really, really good. We were thoroughly confused about where we were when we were watching it.
Yeah, it's just no explanation. Just this young woman cutting up a body on a Saturday night, and we're like, where is she? Is she at a hospital?
Right.
It ended up being like UCLA or some kind of
UCLA,
college.
college medical center.
Yeah,
right?
which made a lot more sense afterwards. But she was just like in a morgue with a bunch of bodies, or no, with one body.
Right.
Then she went into another
Well, she
room.
was on a date with that red herring asshole they were trying to convince us was the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Spinach teeth guy. Right?
Yeah, him.
And then she went, it literally cut from the date to her cutting open a corpse.
Yeah. She was like, well, this is great. So we had a dinner reservation 8:30. I got to be at the morgue at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
And then, so she was in the room with the one body, right? And we're like,
And I got to just side note, I got to support the idea of this guy, he lost out. Because I got to support the idea of dating someone who has dinner and those cuts of bodies. That's just cool. Well, go ahead.
I would lose my lunch so fast. Oh my God.
Right?
If I see like a guts or something, I'm done.
Yeah, it was bad.
No, but the reason we got confused was she was in a room with the body. Then she went into another room. Or no, she went into the locker room. We're like, where is she at? This place got a locker room. And then she went into another room with a lot more bodies. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Then she was cutting the body open in the dark.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like, is that some kind of Mr. Miyagi shit where you got to train to cut open corpses blind?
That was the only thing the whole time, which I get. It was a mood thing. Like, it was dark and ambient or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, man, this hospital is money tight at this hospital. Are you guys watching the electric bill? Like,
money is not tight to use.
That's scary.
Right.
No, but that whole scene itself, I think you're right. Like, if I had to show someone a chunk, that scene alone,
it's like confidently feeling for years that the best jump scare, the best moment in Exorcist 3 is the nurse station scene, and rewatching it and finding something else scarier in it.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind because I was so sure that the hot tub was the moment, but to me it was not. It was second.
Quick thought for you. With this movie, would it have been a better Tales from the Crypt episode?
No.
You don't think so?
It just the way it is.
Just the way it is?
I love it. Because it has too much of Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer in it.
Yeah.
To make it Tales from the Crypt. It's too slick. It's too polished. It's too bantery.
Yeah, it's true.
Its roots are, as a matter of fact, Jennifer Love Hewitt was originally cast as Denise Richards' character.
Oh, was she really?
Just to show you how
she was
much
going to be
of a
in a
clone
slasher. In one way or another.
This movie was. So what? But as someone who hadn't seen it and only kind of knew of it by reputation, what were there things that surprised you? Jumped out at you?
I honestly was never bored with it, which I think is the biggest.
You were expecting to be super bored.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be like a lot of predictable, boring stuff, but it's not a perfect horror film. But I think it plays its cards more in the fun category.
Yes.
So like it takes itself seriously, but there's also like a bit of cheesiness to it, especially early 2000s cheesiness, like the art installation scene.
God.
That was a little weird.
How about being humble enough to wash your hair in a toilet?
That was weird. That was real strange. And they never say anything about that. Like
we said plenty about it while we were watching it.
We at the end of the day, we're like,
because
okay,
she washes her hair in the toilet. So Kate, like basically the main character, she's not the biggest build character, but the main character, the final, or for lack of a better, she loses water pressure in her crappy apartment. Her friend lives in the world's biggest house, right? But she lives in like
she's got a bridge and boat.
Right, she's got everything, and then. She loses her water. She calls her super, and she can't get a hold of him. She's got to go like out, and then she washes her hair in the toilet. And I feel like the very next time we see her, she's like making out with David Boreanaz or whatever his name is. And we were just like, oh
yeah, it just couldn't leave the mind. Like that is
right?
That is just disgusting. I couldn't. we kept saying things like, okay, no, go home, wash your hair, like for real this time, like don't none of that poo water.
Well, every time they tried to set up as for a jump scare, someone turned up like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's the smell."
Yeah, everyone's like, "Do you smell something like shit?"
Don't worry about it, right?
No, but so I was never bored with it. They didn't. There was this. I know they obviously for slasher film reasons they don't want to dive too deep into the slasher like they would like a Jason or Michael.
Yep.
But it just felt a little random at times.
Yep.
And the fake outs of like who the killer was pretty decent.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, I thought overall like 9% is ridiculous. It's super enjoyable. The film honestly could have been any goddamn holiday.
Sure.
Like they just lightly touched. Like the only calling to it being Valentine's Day was them getting the Valentine's Day cards. Like remember the dance 40 years, 20 years ago or something like that. That was kind of it. If they would have played up
and the party,
but
you could have had that party for any holiday.
Yeah, it was a random like a Valentine's Day party. Like no one does that. But I wish they would have played more on the Valentine's Day theme. I think if they had done that, it would have been a way better film. Much like Krampus or Trick or Treat or one of those other films.
Sure.
I think that was the most lacking part.
Let me throw a couple things at you.
All right.
Let me get your opinion on this thing to judge a movie. So I believe that this movie is not scary at all. So I think that's a flaw especially like for a horror movie. I don't feel like all horror movies have to be scary, but I feel like there was really only one unnerving part in the entire movie to me.
Is that the hot tub scene?
No, it was actually the sauna scene.
Oh yeah,
because it was
leading up to.
Well, and then I'm sorry. So the first kill scene that was unsettling because she's hiding in the body bag, and you're kind of like that was we already established that was a good start.
Yeah,
but then when he's hunting for her in the sauna, first of all he does the strangers fake out. Remember in the strangers when she hides in the closet and the girl in the mask shows up and then vanishes and you think she left the room, but then she just shows back up. And
yeah.
So they did that. I think they did that twice actually, because they were like, "Fuck, it works once, so let's do it twice in a row."
Yeah.
But it was because it was that bitchy girl they were getting rid of.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The jealous friend. Or
You could tell her hair was perfect for like
Totally.
resting bitch hair.
Absolutely. Yeah,
It was perfect.
She was, yeah, it was. But what was unsettling about it was they did the horror trope where she hides and then finds the body when she hides, and she has to not scream when she finds the body, whichever. That's pure Friday the 13th, right? But the thing that made it creepy here was in any of those movies, like in a Friday the 13th movie, they're going through the house calling for their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they open a closet and the body flops out from the top shelf or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not going to hide on the top shelf. That's where Jason just is temporarily storing the body, right?
Yeah.
Until he's going to do whatever other sick shit he's going to do later, right?
All his chores.
Right, exactly. But in this one, the space where she was hiding seemed like it was the best hiding place available. And then when she finds the body, that means that the killer knows that space is there.
Yeah.
Right. So I haven't seen that much in horror. A lot of times they find bodies while they're looking for their friends, but in this time, she found the body in the hiding place, which meant you knew the hiding place was no good, which meant she was doomed. Right.
Yeah.
And that dynamic, it worked for me.
Was that the kill when they used half the glass from the shower?
Yes.
That was a great death.
Yep.
That one was probably the most violent one. I would say it's more violent than the hot tub.
Yep. And that's what I mean is all around. I felt like that was a sequence that
It felt a little bit like Zombie when she's getting the wood to
Yep.
the eye.
Yeah.
Because she's just
absolutely.
slowly bringing that next to the glass.
Absolutely. Yeah. But with like 1/10 of the style of Zombie. But right. But yeah, absolutely.
Effort was there.
Whatever was there. So, but I didn't feel like any of the rest of the movie was scary. Do you feel like the movie was scary?
No, I don't think it was scary. It did good, like tension.
Yes.
The moments when you thought you were being stalked or trying to get away, I thought were well done. But there wasn't any moment that scared the shit out of me because it was mostly just like jump scares.
Yep.
Which it's a slasher film. Like I get it. Like that's what they were. That's what they were going for.
Totally.
But I think the strength was definitely in the tension. I just wish they would have done more Valentines.
So a lot of people feel different ways about this kind of thing. So let me ask you this. I hated every person in this movie, I think, except for the main Marley. Right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about a movie where there's no redeeming characters? Like the detective was awful. The
detective was a slime ball.
The best friend was awful. The art guy was awful. The spinach guy was awful.
God, the art guy was a real bozo.
Yes.
He just vanished from my memory until now.
They were all even the supposed friendship between the three was not any real friendship at all.
I sort of bought it. Like I didn't think.
I'm not saying it's inauthentic. It just is meaningless because they're not deep friends. When they didn't even really seem to care when the other ones died.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like the friendship was that strong. So I just feel like that was kind of an emptiness in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, and then the guy they let stay and the rich,
Cameron or whatever.
Yeah,
Campbell.
Yeah. He just kind of came and went till no one was really except for the final girl. That was really it.
Exactly.
I didn't really give a shit. But it also wasn't one of those films. So normally, like if all of the cast is forgettable, most people would be like, "Oh, I was rooting for the killer the whole time."
Yep.
I wasn't even necessarily rooting for the killer the whole time.
No.
I was just like,
absolutely not.
No one wanted to dance with you. Fucking loser.
Right, exactly.
Like you had two left feet. No one wanted to dance with you.
All right, let's not. Come on, he got set up Carrie style. He was a male Carrie there. They humiliated him. That was pretty bad. But it wasn't the dance part. It was the fact that they humiliated him and then beat the crap out of him. Do you remember they cut away and they were like kicking him like. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, but
I can see why he has revenge on his mind. But you're right. I just don't feel like that we cared.
Listen, he could have waited a few more years, gone on Instagram, been like, guess who had a glow up,
right?
And then that's how you get his revenge.
Totally.
He's like, I got a syndicated show on fucking whatever channel. You're right. No, but even then, like he was bullied. Like I get it. That's a serious thing. That sucks. Like we all had bullies in high school. But the fact that like he waited all those years on Valentine's Day, like why that Valentine's Day in particular? You know,
You're just showing you have a healthy psyche.
But it's like, why that Valentine's Day? Like, did you know they're gonna have a bitchin' party?
Well, yes. So I think I know why that Valentine's Day, because that's the final Valentine's Day where his whole plan to work out and become a giant had paid off.
He did become pretty.
That
big.
whole subplot of like, we'll never guess what he looks like because he's had plastic surgery and like that was ridiculous. That made no sense at all.
Yeah, I forgot how that is so random. Like, I completely forgot about. They're like, he could look like this, but he could also look like Barbra Streisand.
Yeah,
like he could look like anyone else in the world.
They did that same cheesy thing in Basic Instinct, but did it way better. Where you found out like the psychologist was actually a roommate. Have you seen Basic Instinct?
No.
Yeah, it was actually, this movie reminds me a lot of Basic Instinct. It's really random. It was weird. It had a very similar feel. I don't know why, but they had a mixed identity thing, I think, except for they just did it better there too. All right, so not that scary, but there are some scary moments. And what do you think of all the bit players, all the character actors, the detective, all the side, the
as slimy as he was, and all the other people were, I thought they were actually pretty great.
I did too.
Like
I thought they were above.
I actually
average.
loved the detective, and right up until like the pervy part with Denise Richards, I loved how like he just thought these kids were idiots. Like they would say some shit and he'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, he had a great line in the middle there where they were flipping through. He was flipping through photos and he had altered the photos. He was like, "So you haven't seen this kid since what is that, senior year or whatever?"
Yeah. Or no, it was like. Seemed like middle school because they were like kids. They weren't.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but you haven't seen this kid in years and years and years and years. He could have grown up to look like anything. I've altered some of the photos to see what he might look like now. Take a look, and then the girls are looking through the photos, and then one of them turns to him and goes, "Do we have any more recent pictures of the?"
Oh yeah.
The detective's like, "If we did, we'd be looking at them right now."
That was the most savage line in the whole film. He was just like, "You idiot." Like, did you sniff glue before you came in? Like, what's your deal? What's going on right now?
So that was pretty great. I did like.
Yeah, he was my favorite bit character. The art gallery guy I didn't really care for. Campbell.
Well, they're all hateable, but I felt like even the ones acting like the guy. I mean, this guy. They told the beginning guy on the first date with the spinaches teeth. They told him Jason Marquette because he's a JM or his initials. Remember?
Oh yeah.
He gets entangled. And they must have told him just be the worst person in the world, and he was like, gladly.
His smile alone.
And he talked about the third person.
Yeah,
which was
Jason doesn't like this. No, his smile makes your skin crawl, and I love it.
Yeah, he was
the perfect slime ball. There's not a lot of actors who he did before a word came out of his mouth.
Yep.
You knew everything you needed to know about JM,
and you just want him to die.
Yeah.
So that was pretty outstanding. I thought the bit players were good. Here's an interesting question for you. I didn't expect this on the rewatch. It was more of what gives the movie like its saving character to me than I remembered.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the setting? I mean, basically the house.
The house was the big setting.
Yep.
In terms of like setting and atmosphere, this film doesn't really have a lot to offer.
Right. It's like white bread, right? It's like no flavor. Everything.
That is perfect way to describe it.
Right.
Yeah. The most interesting set piece was when her head was in the toilet.
Right. Weird.
Right.
But so the house, so it could be interesting, right? This is part of what I felt like was the wrong with the last Jurassic Park movie was they worked way too hard to set it in Dracula's castle. They were just determined to have that movie take place in Dracula's castle, and they didn't care what they had to do to the plot to make it happen. Make it work. We've just got an old guy who's asleep in his bed, and he has no idea there's a million dinosaurs
dead.
in his basement.
He's actually dead.
He's alive for like the entire process of the dinosaurs.
Could you imagine, real quick? Sorry, as a tangent. Working your whole life to recreate dinosaurs, and you have dinosaurs in your goddamn basement. But you're up in your bed. How boring would that be?
It's the worst.
That sucks.
It's totally the worst. Now, in this one, it could be interesting because the house was so bright. So you could have had like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre effect, where you've got daytime horror, bright horror. But they just decided to segregate everybody off into dark rooms when they killed them, which I felt like was kind of blowing what they had going for them there. So I feel like they dropped the ball on that part of the.
It could have easily been like a gothic,
or just gone with total bright. I think.
Well, I mean, I just mean in terms of like the house, like make the house like a big piece. But the house, like, you know, when you think of like Dracula's castle, the castle is like a thing.
Yep.
This house is just like, well, they're here.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that's where this needed to happen.
Yep, totally. And then in the movies accidentally commenting on themselves category, I feel like the movie. So we have this big party going towards the end sequence. This is the big Valentine's Day party, right? And you know, everyone shows up and they're having a good time and they're getting killed and they're doing all the fun stuff that, you know, you do.
Yeah.
And then the power goes out and everyone just leaves.
Fast.
With like everyone is just gone.
People were already at the door.
They were filing out and they were just gone. Like no comment, no goodbyes, no, just out of there.
Catering staff
Which
left.
is what I imagine happened when the credits rolled on this movie in the theaters.
They're just like, we're out.
We're out. Like people just kind of walked out of the theater.
Yeah.
So this movie accidentally was kind of reenacting its own effect on people
Yeah.
inside the movie, which I thought was a nice accidental insight from the movie itself, because
It was a weird like beat for them to hit to get to the third act. It was just like
totally.
he turned the power out. But no one went to the basement.
Well, the power went out for a pretty great reason, which was the hot tub. He threw the whatever he threw in the hot tub and shocked her. So that's why the power cut out, which was pretty great. Actually, I love the pullback shot when everything just fuzzes and all the lights go out.
That reminds me. Now the scene when he had to relight the water heater.
Yes,
That scene.
that was good.
That scene was great. That scene had atmosphere.
Yep.
But if they had just kept that atmosphere throughout the whole thing, like that would be fantastic.
Yep, there was not enough of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I forgot about that kill completely. Wow.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. And the kills were not overly creative. I think that's why the hot tub one stands out, because they were mainly pretty basic slasher kills. But they like I said, I felt like they were staged pretty competently, and the mask is pretty unsettling. And that was my last question to you, is the villain, like how he moved, his presence. What did you think of
I mean, honestly,
Jeremy Melton?
yeah, in my opinion, it could have just been anyone under the mask, and I wouldn't change it much for me. Like there wasn't aside from just the look of the mask itself.
Right.
There was nothing really iconic about it or memorable, other than like, there's the figure in this mask who's going to kill you now.
Totally.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, you know, with Jason and Michael, they're going to walk towards you. With Freddy, they're going to do some shit. It just felt like, I always think of it as like regular crackers. They're just a vessel for cheese. Like, the only reason you buy crackers is to put cheese on
We
it.
keep making white flour references to crackers and bread.
It's the great Los Angeles baking show.
Exactly.
But that's how I felt. What about you? What did you think?
I think I liked him a little more than you did. I liked the way he moved in the scenes where he did the kills. I didn't particularly like how they executed some of them. Like, you were even openly laughing at the hot tub Cleo when he stayed hidden in the weeds for like 5 minutes. She was calling for him. That went on too long. But I liked him as a villain, and I thought they were building something interesting in that you don't see that often in these kind of horror movies, where the villain has kind of like an attachment that trumps his urge to kill, right? So Michael Myers seems to have, where you are in the timeline, right, seems to have some affection for Laurie, and maybe even some hesitation about killing her in some moments. But when push comes to shove, he's going to kill her, like, or there's no threat, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like there was any real threat ever from him to the main character. And that's not usual in horror movies. And I thought I thought that was interesting enough to get my attention, but then they didn't do anything with it. It was literally the end of the movie when you kind of figured that out, and then there was nowhere to go from that.
They did a lot with setting up the nosebleed thing.
That was terrible.
Yeah, and like, it would have been cool if like
that felt like a producer's note.
Yeah, like if somebody else would have had a nosebleed that like throw your scent off of who the killer was. That would have been kind of cool. But then everyone running around with nosebleeds is like, why is everyone running around with the nosebleed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they had done something more with that, it would have made the killer a little more interesting in my eyes.
Yep.
I didn't dislike him at all. I just I think for what this movie was and was trying to accomplish, he did his job. It just there wasn't anything where I'm like, yo, talking about scary slasher, icons, that Valentine killer. Let me tell you.
Yes.
There's what do you mean? What do you mean? He snuck up behind a guy and hit him with an axe. Like there's no finesse.
All right, I'm gonna give you the Movie Pass surge price question.
Oh,
You ready?
Yeah.
Valentine 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You pull out your Movie Pass, which nobody has anymore, but you pull out your Movie Pass theoretically.
R.I.P.
Right? R.I.P. And you go, all right, Valentine 2's out. I'm gonna go see it. And they go, surge pricing. It's $2 extra. Do you go?
If by surge pricing they charged themselves and handed me $2, then yeah, I'm in.
So I have to pay you to see
Yeah, you have to pay me.
Valentine
No,
2.
that's a good question. How much are they charging you?
What's the surge price limit for Valentine 2 for you?
For me, I landed on $2 quickly. Like I would
Paying you $2 is what you.
Yeah. No, but if I had to pay, I'd pay $2.
You'd pay $2
I'd
to
pay
see Valentine 2?
Yeah, it depended on the cast though. Like if we had to
I picked 2 because it was my limit.
Two's your
And
limit.
2's in the sequel name. If Movie Pass was like, I demand $2.22, I'd be like, screw you. Like
Because they were like $2.
$2. I'm like, fine.
You're like, all right, you earned it.
Valentine 2, but no more than that.
Yeah.
So Valentine 2 is a $2 movie.
Valentine 2. Would you see about like real talk? Like if they were like, you audience has been waiting years for this film. It's been like what 17 years.
So here's the thing. Real talk. I had so much fun in the parts of the movie I had fun with.
Yeah.
Because it's not one of those so bad it's fun movies. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's decently put together. I mean, to me, the worst thing you can say about it is mediocre and forgettable. Those are the worst things it has working against it, right? But the fun parts, like Denise Richards had some just off the wall weirdo moments that I just was like, are those improvised? What's happening here?
Right.
And then I thought the lead character I cared enough about to be like, I wonder what happened to her, right? So I would
because it does end with her and the
yeah,
killer,
her dating the killer,
Yeah.
right? And then so that's the thing. And then I feel like I would know going into the sequel that I would probably get a great kill in the first 5 minutes. So I'd be like,
True.
I'd feel like, all right, at least I'm not gonna, it's gonna start okay, right? So, like when they remake Poltergeist or something that they never should have done like that, right? Like I don't know what the first Poltergeist remake scene is gonna be, but I know if you remake Valentine, it's gonna start with a kill and then go to the credits.
Yeah. That's fair.
Right.
The way I thought about it was because we're closing in on October, if I'm putting up Halloween decorations and I can't find anything on Netflix or Amazon to watch and I flip on Sci-Fi Channel and Valentine's on, I'm going to be pretty happy. I'm not going to be disappointed.
That's a good way to put it. That's the perfect way.
That's the best way. And that's probably the best way to view the film, in all honesty, is while you're putting up Halloween decorations.
Probably.
Not Valentine's Day, which is kind of counterintuitive.
Probably. And then I just want to pour one out for what I feel like, there's so don't take this the wrong way, because I'm a big believer in the what kind of I'm going to shortcut call the A24 model. I like these intelligent crop of horror films that have come out, like The Witch and those things.
Yeah.
Everything but Here Comes the Night. So I've liked these, and I'm a big supporter of that kind of thing, but they're not fun. Those movies aren't fun. Quiet Place is not fun, right? These movies, they're grim and they're emotionally wrenching and they're whatever.
You need a breather.
And then
afterwards.
in the old slasher movies that were pure fun, like a Jason Lives or Dream Master, or you pull out one of these, they're just really fun with great kills. You know exactly what you're getting. And then they're super inventive and they have really talented people doing the effects and all that stuff, right? That's what they have going for them.
Yeah.
But the people have done nothing to bring this upon themselves, right? right? Like the people in the Friday the 13th, they have sex. That's why they die. Like
Yeah.
they're just, you could substitute any other people with those people. The I Know What You Did Last Summer, like Scream model started to move characters towards they're bad people who sort of bring it on themselves, right? Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, they run someone over and leave them behind theoretically, right? So
Yeah.
like and these people, they brought some of this on themselves. Like they have done bad things, right?
True.
So it has that where, like, because the whole idea of It Comes a Night, spoiler, is that all people suck and we bring destruction upon ourselves invariably, right?
Yeah.
Which I can see how that resonates in the current climate of the country.
Good job, none of you.
Right. But like there was an era of this kind of movie, and believe me, I'm not saying the movie's great or comparable to like, you know, The Witch or whatever, but there was a time where they were getting sort of half-assed both of these things done.
Yeah.
Where it was fun, but they were undermining the people with some bad characteristics where it made it interesting. Mm-hmm. And this was the last gasp of that, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, everyone who dies in the ring is either doesn't deserve it or they totally brought it on themselves or whatever. And it moved in that direction where we currently reside, right? So I just want to pour one out for like the half-assed way they kind of were trying to be ambitious in their sideways way of we're going to make moral judgments on these people, sort of, but we're also going to have really fun kill scenes where craziness happens. And you find beheaded detectives floating in personal like fountains in the mansion. And
Yeah.
kinda
No,
hilarious, right?
I think that I
So
like that.
It's got that at least, whatever. So
Yeah,
the weird thing is I will never, ever, ever get the urge to watch this near Valentine's Day.
Never.
Like
no.
February 12th will not come around and I'll be like, oh,
I need to fire up Valentine.
So the holiday thing fail. Like,
Yeah,
big
no, yeah, they should have played up more. Well, to be fair, I don't even know if I want to watch Krampus during Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I can see that. I mean, I would watch Krampus during Christmas way more enjoyably than
I would
this.
lean more towards Krampus
Yeah,
during Christmas.
absolutely, right.
And Black Christmas, duh. But yeah, this one,
But this one, like even the bad ones, like I'll turn on a Leprechaun on March 13th, right? Like
Yeah.
or more wait, what the fuck is
Whenever it is.
March 16th. So, but this one just doesn't even have an ounce of that urge built into it, which
No.
I think is probably a big part of its failure and is actually kind of weird.
it's more weird than
that
it
it managed
is.
to
Yeah.
not be like appeal to the one thing it was trying to accomplish.
Maybe the Valentine's horror market is still up for grabs. That's all I'm saying.
That's all right. Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
That's exactly right. All right, so if you're a budding studio filmmaker out there looking for ideas, there's a hungry crowd of people, two people out here doing a podcast who would pay $2 each to see a sequel. So you got that going for you.
The voice has been heard. There it is.
But the main mission of How Low Can It Go is to survive it at this point.
Oh, and this was
And
easy.
we did not have a bad time watching this.
No,
so-
this was we're putting this in the entry for 9%.
Yep.
And this was a breeze.
Yep.
So I'm curious if it's going to be a gradual decline into enjoyment or if it's going to be like the 5% where it's just a drop off.
Yep.
But
And just ask yourself this. You know, the power's out, you're having interference and you're streaming and there's only 2 accessible movies and one is The Snowman and one is this. Ask yourself.
the choice has already been done. The choice has already been made.
Ask yourself.
Well,
Which one you're watching.
But to touch on before we wrap up
Yes.
this whole thing up to just tie it in.
Mm-hmm.
Look down at your shirt for the people who are currently listening to this. Look down at your shirt and ask yourself, do you have a Valentine? If you don't have a Valentine, it might be because of the apparel you're wearing.
It might be.
And we have a not 9% rated shirt for you over
5 star.
It's a 5-star shirt over at holloweekly.com. We have limited edition merch. Now I'm telling you, just like Valentine's Day, it comes once every month. I don't know how to work this in, but anyways, it's a limited edition design up there for 1 month. Just like the month of Valentine's.
Right.
It's up there for 1 month. Get it now before it goes away. We introduce a new design. It is fantastic. It's holloweekly.com. Buy your shirts. Orders over $40 free with promo code horror rules.
Yes.
Why is it rule? Because of movies like Valentine?
Because it does.
Maybe.
Nah.
Maybe.
More because of the designs.
More because of the designs. But it'll help you find a Valentine who hopefully doesn't have nosebleeds, who hopefully is not a killer.
Right.
Who hopefully maybe someday gets you a sequel. We'll pay $2 for it.
Yes.
We'll pay $2 for it.
Yes. And then we're heading into the 8% range for how low can we go as we continue down towards 0. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe.
And I think 5% didn't have a film, right?
Yeah, we're gonna solicit our Facebook group and possibly the page to see if there's any suggestions, because we're gonna need to pick a rando.
This is a wild card.
Wild card, possibly terrible movie to watch to fill in the 5% gap, unless it's there by the time we get there, because Rotten Tomatoes is in flux.
It does shift, but if it doesn't, this is the opportunity to throw some ideas into the hat.
Absolutely.
And possibly make us suffer, which is fine. It's all entertainment.
Which is totally fine. Come at us. We've made it this far. We started at what, 59%?
59%, and we're down. We're now at 8%.
8%.
8%. By the next
you
time
can't kill us.
You can't kill us unless I just have a feeling.
Unless we're in hot tubs. And that.
Yeah, if we're in a hot tub and the killer locks us in and then carts in like an old 90s TV and then puts Dracula 2 on, that might be what kills us.
Then it's over.
But that's what we're going to find out at what, 1%?
Dracula 2 is 0.
0%. Oof.
Dracula 2 is 0%.
All right.
I believe it's 0%.
If I just hope I enjoy an ounce of Dracula 2 just to prove Rotten Tomatoes wrong. Like, you know what? I got a little bit of pleasure, you idiots.
Well, that's a weird thing. That's another hypocrisy of Rotten Tomatoes itself is how could this even be? There's no horror movies at 5%, but there's like 34 movies at 0%.
Yeah, like
that's bullshit. That's just
like none of those 0%
right.
had like a cool opening credit, like just something.
No, it's just a peer pressure thing. Someone was going to come on and be like, "Yeah, I'm going to give this a little bit of credit." Oh, wait, it's 0. Fuck it.
No, I'm out. Yeah, exactly. You clout chasers. I ain't giving you the joy. Yeah, we'll find out.
But thanks for coming along the ride with us on the way down to the 0. We're excited to get there.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
We'll hit you with the next movie soon.
It's like asking someone to dance on Valentine's Day.
No, God.
I'm all shaky. All right. Well, until next time, stay scary. Watch a bunch of horror movies. Bye.
Bye, guys.
You dirty rat.